creating a backend, and creating the coding part in this. So all the three aspects is what we will be concentrating in the today's class. So it's a very important class in this case because it has all the features. That is the basic first feature that we should know to perform the operations in this case. And all your academic projects compulsory will be having the register page. That is what I am teaching in the today's class, will be there for everyone in this case. Okay, so to start with, as we know that, let me check whether we have the, I've already deleted the folder that is MCA, SBMCA from the C drive in this. So I don't have that project here. So let us create one new project again. So again, for that, make use of the command prompt, that is CMD, and click on enter. It opens the command prompt, and inside the command prompt, now you can see it is inside user, inside the drive called as Technosoft. So instead of that, I want to create the project in the C drive in this case. So for that, what I have to do is, first thing is type cd slash. So I'll type cd slash and then click on enter in this case. So now I am inside the C drive. Now inside C drive, I have to first create a project. So to create a project, the command is Django, Django minus admin, then start project followed by the project name. So project name, I'll keep it same. That is, we'll create it as MCA. So that will be a good option in this. So MCA, click on enter. So now it will create a project in this by the folder name, and there will be a first folder created called MCA. Inside MCA, there is a one more folder MCA and a manage.py. So now it has come to the command prompt, means the project is created successfully. Now suppose, remember, if it shows a message, when you type this command, it shows a message that Django is not recognized as internal or external command. In that case, remember, there may be any one of these two problems. The first problem is you have not installed Django. So one easy method is you have to just install the Django framework, and that's all. So for that, you have to type pip install Django. In this itself, you have to type pip Django install Django. And if you type this, the Django will be installed in this case. Suppose if it shows that Django is already installed when you type it, means there is a problem with the class path of your Python. So when I was installing the Python, I told you, you have to add the class path of the Python in the environment variables. Okay, so if somebody gets error, the best method is uninstall the Python from your system, and when you start installing, when the first screen comes, you send me the photo of that. I'll tell you what you have to do then. Now the Python Django is in the project is created. Now you have to go inside that folder, that is cdmca, click on enter. So now I am inside the MCA folder in this. Now inside MCA folder, the first thing that I have to do is I have to create a application. So to create an application, you type a command, that is python manage.py. Inside this, start app followed by the name of the application. So name of the application, I will keep it as student. Click on enter. The spelling mistake in Python, Python Python manage.py, start app student. Click on enter. Now he is creating a project by name student in this case. Yes, so it has returned the command prompt, means the Python project is created successfully. Now, after this step, the most important thing is directly go to the project folder in this. So go to C drive, find the folder called MCA in this case. So let's refresh, you can see MCA folder here. Inside MCA folder, there are two folders. One is again MCA, and there is a student folder in this case. Now, first thing is you have to go to MCA folder, open settings.py. In settings.py, scroll down, you will get installed apps. Inside this installed apps, in the last, put the name of the application. Remember the most important thing here, don't make spelling mistakes, and even character casing is very important in this case. So in this case, many people make a mistake in this. That is, they forget to put the semicolon, or they may forget to write it in capital letters in this. Now, whatever the name you have given there, if you have given the project name as capital, it's the application name as capital letters. Here also it should be same in this case. So save. So now the application is registered. After this, in the same project folder, we have one more file, that is URLs. Open the URLs in this case, scroll down. I told you to do two things in this case. The first thing is, after path, put include. Next, in the URL patterns, add a path. Inside the path, first parameter will be, I have to pass two parameters here. The first parameter is a string, which is empty string. Okay, that is, I told you, if you want to access your application by a name, that name should be given. If you don't want the application to be accessed by any name, in that case you can keep it empty in this, separated by comma. The second parameter is a path called as include. Inside this, your application name, that is student, there I have given it in capital letters, it should be capital letters here also in this, followed by dot urls. So you are telling him, whenever somebody comes to this particular page, generally remember, this page is called by the web browser. Okay, by default this page is called by web browser, and you are telling the web browser that from here go to urls.py of the student folder in this case. So save this and copy this file and put it in the student, because in student.py we don't have urls.py. So that's the reason why I have taken urls.py here. Open this and immediately do two things in this case. First thing, delete those two paths, and here it is from application name, that is student, import views. That is, I'm telling that I'm accessing all the files from the views.py in this case. So from student, import views and save the record. For the time being, nothing inside URL pattern, so we'll come to that in the later part. Once it is done, close the settings.py, because we are not going to make any change till the end of your project part in this case. Okay, Django last, we don't make any changes in the student folder, the application in this case. Now, after this, even close the urls.py in this. Now, after this, what we have to do is, we have to create a folder called as templates inside in your application folder in this case. So now, let us do that. Let us go to the application folder, create a new folder in this case by the name templates. So make sure that there is no spelling mistakes, which I have already done. So spelling mistakes should be avoided. So that is MCA, inside MCA student, inside student, to open the folder TEMPLATES templates. Yes. So inside this template folder, we create all the HTML files in this place. All HTML files are. So we will create one HTML file. So let me open this. Okay. I'll call it as student register dot html. And remember, again, if I type like this, we'll make a mistake. I'll open the sublime text, save as. Do this method in this case. So save as naga, you can save this file with the name student register dot html. So I've got the HTML file content. So even here, student registration and H2 student registration. I can go with H3 instead of H2. most important thing. Now many students will be very intelligent in this case. So in that case, what they do is they make use of chat gpt. So chat gpt use ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು register form create ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. Never do that, because I know chat gpt will help you in this. But point is, what are all the conditions that are required? Those conditions are not satisfied by the chat gpt in this case. I'll show you the difference between the chat gpt html code and the html code which we generally create in this case. Okay, so we'll do that experiment later in this. Of course, I need the bootstrap concept in this case. So what I will do is I will open the bootstrap link. So here I can go for W3 schools bootstrap 5. So I can just copy paste those links. So you can go try it yourself. Copy these two lines in this case. One is a link, another is a script. Copy this, paste it in the header tag of your HTML page. Start with the form design. So form design, what are the form designs that we need to take? We'll have those fields in this case. So start with form tag, name is equal to say FRM register, and then create method is equal to post, which is very important in this case, and auto complete equal to off. And immediately close the form tag. I have seen many people, they do this mistake. ಅವ್ರು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, they keep typing form tag open ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, next ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ they will start designing the form like division tag open ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. Inside this they give class equal to container hyphen fluid, and they keep doing this, but they forget to close the tag. That is very important in this. Whenever you are opening the tag, make sure that you close it immediately, and then you write the next tag inside this. And when I written the tag, don't go for the next tag in this, close this tag. So you should follow. Why I type these commands in front of you is you should see how I am typing in this. Okay, so compulsory immediately close the tags, and then inside this tag you add the properties. That is again div class equal to row, close of this. Again inside this div class equal to say call hyphen lg hyphen uh, lg hyphen you can say we'll keep it 4. Okay, lg usually we keep it 4 in this case, and close it and close it. Okay, inside this again we have some other properties like call hyphen sm hyphen 12, same thing call hyphen md hyphen 12, and also you keep mb as 2. That is mb under margin bottom in this case. So after each tag there will be a space. To mention that space we make use of that in this case. So now next, inside this we need to take the input from the user. I will make use of the label tag in this. Label tag, inside label tag I'll use a font tag in this case. Inside this use a bold tag, and here you give student name, and after giving the student name you use a font property to tell it is a compulsory field, color is equal to red. So you are telling that this is a compulsory field in this case. So for that reason I have used. In label tag is optional, you can skip the label tag if you want. I'll skip the label tag. I will use the bold tag for the star as well as the name in this case. Now below this we make use of input type is equal to text. I need to take the name of the student in this. So here student name, and then placeholder enter student name, then it is first tag other, so autofocus equal to on. Then we mention the max length property. In this case, say up to 100 letters he can type in this, so I'll give max length is equal to 100. And then I should allow only alphabets in this, so for that pattern, square bracket open close, it is A to Z, capital A to capital Z, that is I'm allowing only alphabets, no space, nothing. Okay, so only alphabets in this, so it will take the alphabets. Save this. So we have created the first tag in this case. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿಯೊಳಗ after close of the division, this take the same division again, copy paste it, save the tag. Now inside this I need to take which what is the mobile number of the student. In this case same method use ಮಾಡ್ರಿ, copy ಮಾಡ್ರಿ, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು you content copy ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ uniformity will be built in this case. So now what I have done is inside this I will say mobile number, and mobile number ಬಂದಾಗ input type is equal to number, name is mobile number, then it is a placeholder we have to give, enter mobile number, and then use a pattern property, so in pattern 0 to 9, and after that put a square brackets 10 comma 10, that means only 10 digits are allowed in this. Most important in this case, if it goes beyond 10 I can give a error to the user in this. Next, after this, now one more thing in this, both the tags we forgot to use the class property. Class equal to form hyphen controller. I told you about this when we finish the HTML tag, that is a bootstrap class names. So use the class name for both. After this, again I need to take a one more field in this case. So adaka column width I'll copy these two lines so that I can make the changes easily, and both the divisions are closed. And in the first division we mentioned instead of mobile number, now I want email ID, and then input type is equal to email, name is equal to email ID, placeholder, enter email ID, enter email ID, and if it is compulsory use the required property. Same thing we can give it for the mobile number also, and we can give the same for the student name also. Required compulsory field, so I've given that as a compulsory field. Now after this you can take as many as fields you want. Say you will take a course which he is studying, and I want to take the password in this case. So course salvaga same, I'll save my time, copy these two lines, it will be common, close out those divisions, and here you give course studying. So inside course studying, what I will do is no need of two division, only one division tag closes. So one division tag close, and inside this use a select tag in this case. So select tag use madre. In select tag you have a property called name, that is course study. Next, it's a compulsory field, so use the required. We have a class for it, a class by name, it is form hyphen select. Remember, when it is input tag use ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕತ್ತೀರಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ we make use of class as form control. Suppose if you are using the select tag, in this case you must use the uh, class by name form hyphen select in this case. So inside this we give the close together already, inside this you give the options. Options, the first one I will say select course as course name, okay, or course studying, simple. And again uniformity plays an important role, because if you can see I told mobile number, I have written student name, in that case the first word, first letter is capital, second word it is small, so follow the same here. that is course studying naga. I'll keep yes as small. Okay, next in the option tag also yes as small. And then we have the other options. Options like bootstrap course. Keep all the course names whichever you want in this. Say web designing. Then we have programming language. Then we have software testing, computer basics. Well, these are all the languages that are being carried out in the institute in this case. So I've written all the names of those courses in this case. Next, so last part we will take the password in this. So again, make use of the same division tag and label. Iಷ್ಟು ಕೂತು type ಮಾಡೋದು is a waste of time in this case. So I've just copy pasted and here I'll say password. And then inside this we have input type is equal to password, name is equal to password, compulsory field, so required property we have to give. And after this we have class equal to form hyphen control, and we have to give the placeholder saying enter password. So this is a password field completed in this case. Now after this I have to have a button in this case. So to have the button, make use of the same a small change, that is call hyphen keep 12. That's it. No LG, no FM, no MD, no SM in this. So when you give call hyphen 12 means that the entire line is given for this particular tag. Whether it is mobile, whether it is laptop, whether it is a tab, whether it is a big screen like TVs, I want the button to be in the center of the page in this. So what I will do, I'll use call hyphen 12. Inside this use a center tag in this case. Inside this input type is equal to submit. So name I will keep it as submit, and value I will keep it as register, and use the class by name btn success. So I've used a btn success, and beside that if you want you can also have the reset option, that is input type is equal to reset, name you can give reset, and value you can give cancel. Okay, so after this the whole page is completed. So this is how we have to create the HTML page with basic bootstrap concepts in this case. And remember, whenever I told you in the yesterday's class, whenever you create any project, any HTML file, so in that case what I have to do is very simple, go to urls.py of your application. Okay, and in that you have to make use of a path. You have to add one new path in this case. Inside path I will say student register comma views dot student register and comma name is equal to student register and separated by comma. The same name, this is actually a HTML file and I have used on all the three places for the path field in this case, and it is not compulsory but it is a good programming practice. So save this. Now my HTML page is ready, the path to access that page is ready, but to call the HTML page we don't have function in this. So for that what I have to do, very simple, go to views.py. So go to views.py. In views.py, you have to create a function, a new function in this with a request parameter in this. REQUEST request parameter, put a colon inside this. Yesterday's class I told you there is one built-in function, return render. Use this render function to call the HTML files in this case. So return render, inside this I told you have to send a request object comma the name of the HTML file dot HTML. Okay, a very simple built-in function render. It will by default go to the templates folder in this case, and he will check whether you have that HTML file or not. If the file is not there, it will say template does not exist. Remember, if it gives an error message saying that template does not exist, means that there is a mistake. Either you have not saved the HTML file in the templates folder, or maybe there is a spelling mistake in the HTML file and while you are calling in the views.py. So make sure that whatever name you have given here, that should be the exactly same name of the HTML file in this. Save this. Now come to the command prompt. Then you come to the command prompt. In the command prompt, we will execute make migration, migrate, and run server in this. Let us see if we have made any mistakes. So Python manage.py make migrations and click on enter. Wait for it. So it says no changes detected. So as I told you in the yesterday's class that no changes detected means the data, there is no error for the time being. Then after this, again we just scroll it down, and now I will execute make migration python manage.py migrate. Click on enter in this case. So now you can see all the required files are being installed. So what are the library files are required is put here. So now this part is done. The third one, that is python manage.py run server. Click on enter. So it takes some time, and now yes, it has executed, and you can see quit the server with control break. Forget about this warning in this case. Just say quit the server with control break Pantandra. Open the web browser, type a URL here, that is localhost colon 8000 slash, remember in urls.py whatever the name you have done, you have given, the same name should be copied in this case. So paste it, click on enter, and now you can see the registration. We have missed two things in this. We have not applied the tag name here and here, so let us add those two. So go to register page, select the tag name. There is a problem, so let us see. That is class equal to font aguttada. It is form select. And one more, we missed the class in one more tag in this, that is email id. So go to email id, and here yes, we require class equal to form hyphen control. Save and refresh. And of course we need to have one more cancel option. We need to have the class for this. So I'll scroll down, and here use a class equal to, it is btn we give one. Save and so now we have got this. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಖಾಲಿ ಉಳಿತದ. So never you should think of these. So whenever there is a uniform, whenever there is a form design like this, put some extra field in this case, any field of your choice in this. So what I will do is I'll give an option to type the project title in this case. So to give the project title, add one more field in that. So it will be a type text. So what I will do is to save the time, copy the complete division call. Copy this division call length, division call close the before closing the before the submit button, paste it here. I will give as JECT project title, and even the name should be changed, PROJECT project title. Class is there, max length I'll give 1000 in this. Enter project title. Required autofocus is not required. Even if you write autofocus, it won't work. Pattern you don't give because numbers are used here, so I'll change it. If you want only numbers and these things and space to be allowed, so what you have to do, 0-9 slash s. This should be slash s will allow the space, 0 to 9 will allow the numbers in this case. Save and run the program. So now you can see a proper designing on the complete inputs will be displayed on the screen in this case. So this is how we have done the form design. Remember, whenever we do any form design where we are storing the data, okay, you have to access a one more file in your project application folder called as models.py. Remember, in case of the models.py, we create a class for storing the data of the user in this. So whichever form you have created, whatever the data you enter in that, the data should be stored inside the database. In such case, we make use of a one more file, that is models.py. In models.py, we have to create a class, and inside that class, for each input that we take from the user, okay, we have to create a variable for that. Hang ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, very simple in this case. So come here, inside this, create a class followed by the name of the class in this case. So I'll call it as student data. Student data ಆಯ್ತು. student student data. Most of the students make a mistake here. Means HTML file again is a don't give that name here. Okay, so I'll call it as student data in this case. Inside student data class, we have to pass one parameter called as models dot model, where m is capital. Remember this, model naga m should be capital in this case. Put a colon, click on enter. And inside this, for each information that you take from here, you should declare a variable. Like example, student name. So now I will say student name name equal to, we have to type something called as models dot char field. Remember, char field C and F are capital. It will tell that the student name will take character type of data. Character type of data, and it includes alphabets, numbers, symbols, anything else. And inside this, you give a property called as max underscore length equal to 1000. Means that I am telling it can store up to 1000 letters in the student name in this case. The same way, put a next line, and in the next line, take the next input, that is mobile number. So mobile number ko, I will do the copy paste. Here I will change mobile number, and I am sure that the mobile number will not exceed more than 100. I mean more than 10 in this. So I have given max length is equal to 10 in this case. Same, we will take it as a character field itself, because now in mobile number addition we are not doing. Remember, when you take the data in the character format, you can change them to string to numeric format whenever you want. Okay, so for that reason I am using char field for the mobile number also. Most of the tags will be used with the char field itself. Now after this, the third field that we have to take is email id. Again copy paste. ಎಷ್ಟು ಕಾಪಿ ಪೇಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ ಅಷ್ಟು ಯೂನಿಫಾರ್ಮಿಟಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಬರ್ತದೆ, ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್ಸ್ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಗ್ತಾವ. ಬಟ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಒಂದು ಏನು ಬರ್ದಿರ್ತೀರಿ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಬರೀರಿ, ಅದು ತಪ್ಪು ಬರೆದು ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಾಪಿ ಪೇಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ರಾಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್. So email ID, of course, max length has to be increased. I'll put it 100. So after max length property, next I need to take email ID at the course studying in this. So I'll just copy paste course study. So here also the same max length char field in this. After course studying, I have password. So I'll use password. Password max length is equal to, after password, then this project title. So again copy paste project title. Okay, and most important, whenever we add some data in the models.py, it is very important that you must stop the server and you have to execute make migrations. So remember, first thing in inputs user for all these inputs I have created a variable each. After this, whenever you make any change in the models.py, compulsory stop the server, execute the make migrations command in this. Last time when you made the execution, you used python manage.py make migrations. It was showing no changes detected in this. Now if I click, it shows something else. It says create model student data, means that make migration command what we use, that is actually used to create these tables from the classes in this case. So there in the models.py I had created one class by name student data. So what he did was that student data class was converted to a SQL table in this case, and he is telling that create model student was done in this. And the copy of that particular code, that is how the query is written, is stored inside a migrations folder of the student. There is a file called initial.py that we'll see later part in this case. So this is very important. Whenever you make a change in the models.py, execute make migrations. Whenever you execute make migrations, it is compulsory to uh, execute python manage.py, then migrate, and click on enter. So now you can see applying student 0001 initial is okay, means that whatever the migration file was created after executing the make migration, it has created a table by name 0001 underscore initial. Now that one underscore initial has been assigned to the application that by the name student. Student is application name that you have created in this. So now the linking has taken place successfully. Now execute run server. Okay. So we created the front end, we created the backend database in this. Now the third and most easiest and important part is how to link between the front end and the coding in this, because in the front end we have written a student register page in the HTML form, and we have written a models.py where we are storing the data. But how to link between these two, because HTML can't send the data directly to database. Database can never fetch the data directly from the HTML. For that we need a mediator, and name of that mediator is your views.py. So in the views.py, in the student register, I have to write a code to save the data inside the database from the HTML page. So what I am going to do, I'll just rearrange it slightly. Okay, we are supposed to use the views.py. So I'll open the views.py. So views.py will act as a mediator between the models and the HTML page. How to do that? How it will act as a mediator in this? Very simple. Come to views.py. Here you write one line, that is from student dot models import style. Sir, what is this line? Very simple. I am telling that from the student project application, there is a file called models.py. Copy everything from models.py and put it in our views.py. So for that, we have written this line number 2. After this, we have to write a save code inside the student register function. So what we have to do here, most important in this, remember when the page got loaded, URL type ಮಾಡಿದೆ enter click ಮಾಡಿದೆ, it showed me the HTML page. Remember this time the function was called, that is return render line number 6. But when I type all these data, all the information, click on the submit button. Okay, it will again go to the same page name, that is same function name, student register. But this time he is actually carrying a data whatever you have typed in this particular form. In this case a post ಅಂತ object naga, all the data that you have entered in that form tag will be copied. So when it comes back here, the post attribute will be having the data. So to check whether the post has come or not, what I have to do? Very simple. if request dot method double equal to post in capital. So I'm telling that suppose if request dot method has an object called as post, come inside this. And here we need to save the data in the models.py. Hang ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, very simple in this case. Go to models.py, copy the name of the class where you want to store the data. Copy this, come here, inside this, create an object for the class. So I'll call it as sd is equal to student data open close. This we had seen in the concept of classes and objects, how to create an object for a class. After this, very simple line in this, I need to store the data inside a variable student name in the models.py. Copy moderate, come here, sd dot student date name equal to the data I have to fetch it from the HTML page. So HTML page in the whenever you want to retrieve a data, we write a code that is request dot post in capital, square bracket open close. Inside this square bracket, you mention the name of the HTML tag. So go to student register. So whatever name you have given for the student name. So this is the name property. Copy this and paste it in the post. Now understand this line, very important. Anybody who has not understood this, you can ask me, I'll explain it once again. So anybody has a doubt in understanding this particular line, that is sd dot student name is equal to request dot post. Okay, so I hope no doubts till here, but still I'll repeat it once in this case. So first ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ, request dot method. Why we have written this line is because we want to check if post object has data. So this data is nothing from the data from the front end in this case. Then we create an object for the class where we want to store our data. Most important is this line. On the left side, using the object name, I will access the variable name of the class. And in this, I have to retrieve the data from the post object, store it. So how to retrieve? It is very simple. Request.post, the tag name. Same thing, I will copy paste just to save the time. And what I have to do, remember on the left side, it is all the model variable names of the models.py. On the right side, it is the names that you have given in the HTML page. Replace one with OK. Like example, let me start with the models. So next is I need mobile number, copy this, paste it. Next I need email ID, copy this, paste it. Next is course studying, copy this, paste it. Next is password, copy this, paste it. And the last one, project title, copy this, paste. So left side naga, you will have all the names that are there in the HTML page in this case. On the right side of the page, right side of the equal to, we have to give the names of the tags in this case that you have used in the HTML page. So let us go to student register. So first student name copy paste ಮಾಡಿವಿ. The second is the mobile number. Copy this and paste it here. Second, next is email ID. Copy the name that you have given for email ID. Copy this, paste it. Next we have course studying. So course studying naga, copy this, paste it. Then next we have the studying that selected course is done, and after that we have is the password. So copy the name that you have given for the password, paste it. Last one we have project title in this case, so copy this, paste it. Okay. Now, some people will come to me without any project. Sir, I want to learn full stack. Or if they say, I want to learn, say, Python language. So in that case, there is no project for only Python language. Or somebody says, I want to learn data structure. For data structures, we don't have a project in this. So they don't have the project title also. So in this can be optional. So optional is required again. First point. Okay. And here also you remove the star. Because compulsory field ಇದ್ದರಷ್ಟೇ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ ಅಂತ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದ್ರೆ you can remove the star from that. Point is, whenever that field is optional, you should not write it as request.post. ಅವಾಗ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, you have to make a change dot get. ಡಾಟ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಸಪೋಸ್ ಆ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ ನ ನೇಮ್ ಇನಿಷಿಯಲೈಸ್ ಆಗಿತ್ತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ರಿಟರ್ನ್ ದ ನೇಮ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಟೈಟಲ್, ಅದರ್ವೈಸ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ರಿಟರ್ನ್ empty brackets in this case. So that means nothing will be stored in that particular field. This is very very important in this. So remember, whenever the tags are optional, make use of the get method. Whenever the tags are compulsory that they have to enter the data, make use of request.post in this case. After all these, just write one line sd.save. That's it. So sd.save and further the data will be saved in the database in this case. So let us save this, run the program, refresh the program. If there is any error, it will show the error. Yes, we have an error. No, sorry to disappoint, there are no errors. I think so. Yes, there are no errors. So coming to this, let me enter my data in this case. So let me start with the student name as Sachin, say mobile number 978978978 Next is email ID, say sachin@gmail.com. Next, course studying, he wants a full stack course in this. Password I'll give it as Sachin. Say project title is some library, the ID card generation. And click on register. Immediately we click on register, it shows an error because any field request student name pattern and a mistake agirbeku. So let us take check for the student name pattern in this. Student name pattern, yes, the mistake is give a /s minimum to maximum 100 letters. That is important. And check with pattern everywhere, is it correct or not, because we have copy pasted most of the cases. Say project title, yes, everything is fine. Refresh the page again, and now you enter the data again in this case. Say Sachin 987987989 followed by Sachin at gmail.com. Then I have course studying. Say password is also Sachin. Project title is some library management. Now you click on register and it will give a space allowed mostly. So we keep it this. Click on check what is the condition we have given, not given the characters in this. Say 2,1000. You can take up to 1000 characters in this. Sachin is not good, we'll take Kiran. So next 987987989 and then Kiran at gmail.com. Course studying full stack. Kiran is the password. Say project is library management. MANAGEMANT and click on register. So once I click on register, it will immediately throw an error. I wanted you people to see this error. Okay, he says there is something missing, that is something called as CSRF middleware. Okay, so for that what you have to do is very simple. Go to your HTML page. Before closing the form tag, add one Python tag in this case. Remember, this is a HTML page. In HTML page, whenever you want to write a Python code, you have to put something called as a Python tag in this. Flower bracket percentage flower bracket is a Python tag in this. Inside this, you mention csrf underscore token. csrf underscore token means it is something like where he is authenticating the user. So I have given an application form to one student, another student I will give another application form, okay, because it will be having different serial numbers. So for that purpose, same way, whenever he sends a HTML form to a client, he makes sure that the client name and the HTML page name should match in this case. So that thing is done by the one keyword, that is csrf underscore token, which is compulsory to be written in the HTML page inside the form tag. Save this. Once you get this error, don't make the change and refresh. You have to compulsory go back, or you can type here enter button in the URL. Now let us enter the data in this. I'll put my information 98.5 say vivek@gmail.com, course studying full stack, Vivek, and project title is library manager. And now click on register. Now you can see the typed data is gone. If if the typed data is gone, that means the data has been saved. Okay, but sir, it should display me a message on the screen that the data has been saved. That would be a better option. Yes, you can do that very simple by going to your views.py, create one variable here. I create a variable msg is equal to empty. Okay, I've declared one variable inside the function, and when the data is saved in this line, what I will do is I will say msg is equal to registration successful. So I've given a message that registration successful, save this. And remember, when you have given registered successful, if you refresh it, it will not display, because you have sent the data from the page. You have created the message in this, but this message should be sent to the HTML page. And remember, any data you want to send to HTML, it is a return function, a render function that will help you. For this, what you have to do is you have to pass a third parameter in this, that is a dictionary. Dictionary is a data set, as I told you, key value pair. So I'll use a key as msg in the double quotation and colon again msg. Okay, so I've used a dictionary to send the data to the HTML page. Save this, refresh the page. Are you able to see the message on the screen? Are you able to see the message on the screen? The answer is no, because you have sent the variable msg to the server page, but it is not displayed on the HTML page. How to display that? Very simple. Go to your HTML page in this case, and in the HTML page on the top, before the form tag, I'll put one center tag. Inside the center tag, it should display me the message. Very simple. Put two flower brackets, and inside these flower brackets, whatever the key that you have given to store a data in this, use this key, put it in between this. So in two flower brackets is something like a print statement on the browser page. So what he will do, he will just print whatever is the value inside the MSG in this. And I have given MSG value here in this case. I have told MSG is equal to registration successful. Otherwise, wherever place you are using, MSG will be empty in this case. Only when he comes inside that request.post, only after he saves the data, MSG will be initialized as registered successfully. Let us save this and refresh the page. Now you will get a message on the screen. Refresh takes some time. Now you can get a message on the screen, registered success. So it is very small, make it big in this. Yes, you know how to increase the size of the font tag in this case, just by using a H3 or H2, H4, whichever you want in this. I'll keep H4 in this case because title tag H3 did. So I can't increase the font size in this. I'll keep less than that. Now let us refresh. Now you can see the font size has been increased and it is showing me a message that is registered successfully. So this is the main engine where the data gets stored. Firstly, post object initialize ಆಗಿದೆಲ್ಲ check ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. Then we create object of the class and we take all the inputs from the HTML tag and store it inside the models.py file in this, in the variable of the models.py. In the last, make use of the save function and then send initialize a message called as msg. And this msg, we pass it as a parameter in this case. Whatever the variable name we have given in the double quotation or single quotation in future must be written inside the flower bracket so that the data is displayed to the user in this case. Okay, this is how the data gets stored in the database in this. Anybody has a doubt, you can ask.